All right, let's get right into it. We're going to take a close look at a really critical moment for our planet, and it's a story that starts in our oceans, told through their changing colors. It's a story about a threshold, maybe even a point of no return, and what it all means for one of the most important ecosystems on Earth. This right here, this quote from Professor Tim Lenton really says it all. He's the lead author of the Global Tipping Points report, and this one sentence just sets the stage perfectly. We're talking about something that 160 scientists from 23 countries are saying is not a distant forecast. It's not a warning for our kids. It's happening right here, right now.
And this is the number at the absolute heart of the issue. 1.2 degrees Celsius of global warming. Now, this isn't some future goal. Scientists believe this is a threshold that we have already passed for the mass die-off of warm water coral reefs. It is the very first of 25 major Earth systems to reach its tipping point.
So what does crossing a line like that actually look like? Well, under the sea, it looks like a great whiteout. It's a silent, global catastrophe that's literally stripping the color and the life from what are essentially the vibrant cities of our oceans, the coral reefs.
And the sheer scale of this is, well, it's pretty shocking. Since just January 2023, a staggering 84% of the world's coral reefs have gone through bleaching. Let that sink in. This isn't just one reef in one country. This is a planetary scale event. It's the fourth global bleaching event ever recorded. Let's put this into perspective, right? The very first global event was back in 1998. Now, just look at how fast these are happening. We're seeing things we've never seen before, like in 2024, when Australia's two huge reef systems bleached at the same time. The first time that's ever happened. This alarming pace suggests we could see another major event on the Great Barrier Reef as soon as 2025. This crisis isn't just ongoing, it's speeding up.
So what is actually going on here? It's pretty simple, but it's devastating. Corals are actually tiny animals, and they live with these little algae that give them their food and all their beautiful color. But when the water gets too hot, the corals get stressed out, and they literally kick out their algae roommates. And when they do, they turn bone white. They aren't dead, not yet, but they're starving, and they are in very, very serious trouble.
And this brings us to the big idea of the report. We've seen the effect, this massive bleaching, but what's the science behind it? Let's unpack what a tipping point really is.
Okay, so here's the key. A tipping point isn't just a slow, gradual decline. It's a threshold. Think of it like this. You can lean over in a canoe, and you're fine. You lean a little more, and you're still fine, until all of a sudden you're not. You've tipped. The system flips abruptly to a totally new state. And the really scary part, it's incredibly difficult and sometimes just impossible to flip it back.
And this is what that new tipped-over state looks like for a coral reef. You go from a healthy, complex, diverse underwater city that's just teeming with life to a landscape that's basically covered in algae. You lose all that biodiversity, and you also lose the critical protection that healthy reefs give to coastlines and to hundreds of millions of people. It's a total system collapse.
So, this raises a huge, kind of scary question. Have we already passed the point of no return? While this big report suggests that 1.2 degree threshold has been crossed, there's still a debate going on among scientists about whether it's truly final, and it's all centered on that critical 1.5 degree line.
You know, some experts like marine biologist Terry Hughes say this isn't even a new thing. He argues the tipping point was actually passed way back in 1998 with that first global bleaching. The corals, he says, are just the most obvious canary in the coal mine. And he's right that it's not just about coral. Other vital ocean ecosystems like mangroves and kelp forests are also in serious decline.
And this is where the urgent need to get to net zero becomes so incredibly clear. We're talking about cutting our greenhouse gas emissions as close to zero as we possibly can. Just look at this gap. The Paris Agreement wants to keep us at 1.5 degrees. Our average for the last 10 years is already at 1.3. But the path we're actually on, with our current policies, that's heading for around 3.1 degrees. That's not a gap, that's a chasm. And our coral reefs are the first to fall into it.
Okay, so that's the grim reality. But the story doesn't have to end there. Because if negative tipping points exist, then that means positive ones can too. And this is where the global race to decarbonize becomes maybe the most important race humanity has ever run. And the world is paying attention. This November, leaders from all over are going to get together in Brazil for what's called COP30. The #1 topic on the agenda? Slashing greenhouse gas emissions. The science is crystal clear, we all know what's at stake, and this is where the world has to decide which path on that last slide we're actually going to take.
So after hearing all of this, it's a fair question to ask. Is there any good news? Is there any hope of turning this ship around and avoiding the worst-case scenarios?
And the answer, thankfully, is yes. Professor Lenton makes a great point. Just like nature has tipping points, our own technology and our societies do too. He says we're already seeing positive tipping points in clean energy. I mean, the growth of solar power and electric vehicles has been absolutely exponential, way faster than almost anyone predicted. That's what a positive tipping point looks like in action.
So, this is the question we're left with. The evidence is overwhelming. We have pushed a vital part of our planet past its breaking point. This race to net zero isn't just about stopping more damage, it's about using our policies and our technology to trigger our own positive tipping point, to flip ourselves into a new, sustainable state. And that's the tipping point that we all have a role to play in.